Hello, friends. This is Face the State for Sunday, November 3rd. Yes, we can see the end of the election from here, and many of you have already voted. We have the latest mail-in numbers, a special interview with the person ready to run those results as well. Yes, we are talking to the Secretary of State about some voting controversies already popping up in the Commonwealth also. Plus, our political insiders give their final predictions, who will win, and what are they most concerned about if their side loses. The final Face the State before the election starts now.
CBS 21 News presents Face the State with Joel D. Smith, a look at the issues and politics that shape Pennsylvania.
All right, this is important. This is why we're here. Thanks for watching today. Joining us right now, the Secretary of the Commonwealth, Al Schmidt. He is in demand, and we're so glad you're back on Face the State.
Thank you for having me back.
We have a lot to get to. Let's start with this. Optimism. How will things be different this time than last time? We know it was tough. It was the pandemic. We were learning on the fly how to do some of these things. And while some of the rules haven't changed, the way we implement this stuff and count maybe has.
That's right, because the big question is, when are we going to know the results, right?
You said it better than me, yes.
But one thing that hasn't changed is our laws are largely the same as they were in 2020. Our counties cannot begin processing mail ballots until 7 a.m. on election morning. So that's the same.
Are we better at processing them, though?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
But a lot of other states can begin that process days, if not weeks earlier. So we're at something of a disadvantage in that respect. But some things have changed. Counties have acquired additional equipment to speed that process along, and workers with more hands doing it, and also a lot of experience they didn't have in 2020, and fewer voters voting by mail now than during that peak COVID environment. Yeah,
about 2/3 this time, what we've seen so far. Tell me about those machines. What are they meant to do better than before?
Well, the sort of machines that counties acquire help with time stamping them, they help with sorting them by precinct, and they help with opening the outer envelopes. It still takes clerks to remove the envelopes and to remove the ballot and flatten the ballot and tabulate the results, but it does move that process along a little faster. And that's thanks to Act 88 that was passed by the legislature some time ago and allocated by the administration.
We also know that last time, sometimes people started and then there was just so many, they stopped, they'd pick it up again at a certain point. What's different this time?
Well, counties that received Act 88 funding, which makes more funding available to them, are required to begin that process at 7 a.m. and then complete it keep going until it's completed, which some counties didn't do in 2020. In Philadelphia, we did night and day, and we even had a live cam on it to show us working 24 hours a day and 8-hour shifts to make sure we got the results out as early as we possibly could.
So based on that, we're not looking at a Friday or Saturday scenario, correct?
Well, it has only ever come down to how close an election is. Yeah. Whether you have mail ballots or you don't. If an election is close, it takes longer to know. In 2022, for example, the race for governor was called by 10 or 11 at night. The race for U.S. Senate was called by maybe 1 or 2 in the morning because they weren't close. It wasn't the county stopped counting. It wasn't that they didn't still have ballots to count. They did, and that went on for many days after. But calling the race is really what you all do.
Understood.
But the hard work that election workers do continues on after that.
And then remind folks, if it is too close to call, what is our priority and then actually the procedure for a recount if it got that close?
Right. Well, whether an election is close or not, our counties still count every vote cast by an eligible voter on or before Election Day. So with the process they undertake is exactly the same, whether it's a landslide or whether it's a close race. And they all follow the same election code, or they all follow the same rules. If an election is, a statewide election is within 0.5%, then there is a recount mechanism.
Okay. All right. So let's say I chose to vote by mail. I intended to do that. I'm waiting around. Now I'm nervous. I don't have my ballot yet. What do I do? With a lot of people in this scenario right now, especially we're hearing Erie County might have a bunch of these.
If you've already applied to vote by mail, you've applied for a mail ballot, you sent in your mail ballot application, and the deadline for that was the other day.
Yes.
Then you have a couple of options, and you haven't received it yet.
Right.
You can go to your Board of Elections office to request a replacement, and they'll void your earlier one and provide you with the replacement. Or you can go to your local polling place on Election Day and vote by a provisional ballot, which is basically a paper ballot. Similar thing. And then if you haven't already mailed in your ballot and they check for that, then that provisional ballot will be counted. So there's several steps to prevent any voter from being prevented from voting in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Could that be overwhelming in some spots if there's a lot of problems? But we're hearing there could be thousands of these in some of these counties.
Well, in a presidential election year, not only is there a lot of scrutiny, not only is there a lot of attention, but any problem, no matter how small, even if it doesn't affect a single vote or certainly the outcome of a race, undermines confidence in the election results. That's why we've worked so closely with our county partners all year long. Okay. I visited every county, each of 67 counties, to sit down with their directors to make sure that they knew the Department of the Air was here to assist them.
We know there's also been some registration issues. Lancaster County has seen some of this. Looks like maybe fraudulent ballots have been applied for. What's the latest on that situation in Lancaster County that you can talk about?
Well, I don't mean to correct you, but those were allegedly fraudulent voter registration applications.
Thank you.
Not fraudulent ballots.
Correct.
That's a totally different sort of creature altogether.
Yeah.
But voter registration applications, when they come in, go through a verification check where voters who are applying are providing their social security number, they're providing their driver's license number, all sorts of checks that go into the system. Lancaster did what every other county does, and I commend them for it, as they all should, is to identify those, reach out to law enforcement if there are allegations of voter registration fraud, to make sure that law enforcement can do its job and the integrity of our electoral process remains intact. Yeah,
I think it was something similar in York County. I guess on the one side, it's good that they're catching these things, but it's tough that so many are trying to do it, the wrong way.
Well, it's when we have cases like this, as infrequently as we do, it should confirm our confidence in the process so that when there are things like this, whether it's an attempt to submit a fraudulent voter registration application or something else, it is caught by our county partners, flagged, and they reach out to law enforcement to take it from there.
What have you told the counties to do when it comes to, you're still getting some people that fill out the mail-in ballots incorrectly? We know that there's some litigation out there, what to actually do with those, throw them out or mail them. What's going to happen as of today if the counties are getting in these things and something's wrong on them?
And you're right, and there has been so much back and forth in the courts. Voting by mail is very simple. If you follow the instructions, you're marking your ballot, you're putting the ballot in the secrecy envelope, the secrecy in the outer envelope, you're signing it and writing that day's date.
Sounds easy.
Lots of back and forth about it. Fewer than, it's like 1.4% of voters make a mistake like that when completing their ballot. But every ballot is precious. So we redesigned the appearance of the instructions, redesigned the appearance of the envelopes and all the rest to make sure that it is as clear as could possibly be for voters, so we don't want them to make any mistakes when completing it.
Right, but they just hold them aside, and because we don't know about the litigation outcome.
If there's a fatal defect or there's ongoing litigation, those ballots are set aside, kept separately. So if there is some last-minute court decision that affects any of that, those ballots are treated separately.
Under a minute to go, quick answer here. Let's say you voted early, they get your ballot, but unfortunately the person in that scenario then dies before Election Day. What happens to their vote on Election Day?
So right now in Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Department of Health notifies your county board of elections that with updates on who has died in their county. So the county will go to great lengths to identify the voter, to find their mail ballot, and to set it aside and not count it if the voter cast their ballot and then passed away before Election Day.
All right, we have about 30,000 more questions, but we only have about 30 seconds left. So I'm just going to use this time to thank you for your efforts and everybody that works with you and all of these people out there. I've told them many times, if you have issues with this, you think something's wrong with this system, volunteer. Go look at it yourself. Get yourself out to one of these places.
The more you know about elections, the more confidence you have in them.
Very good. We have confidence in your answers. We appreciate you. And now we all know more. Hey, we're not done yet, though. We want to talk about what's been going on with the different voters we're talking to. We've had the unique opportunity to talk to real folks out there, and some of our highlights from our Off the Air segment, our focus groups, coming your way next. A real pleasure this election cycle has been to get out and talk to real voters. You don't have to wonder, I wonder what they think. We let them talk, and not just in 10-second sound bites. We let it go for 45 minutes, an hour. Here's some of the best that we got from some of our focus groups through this election cycle to kind of let you know what Pennsylvanians are thinking before Tuesday.
We're in a situation right now where the country is being forced to have the lesser of two evils. And I think the country as a whole is getting tired of it. We have people that are qualified, to lead this country younger, more in touch with the, what's going on the ground. So like I think everybody's just tired.
Some people maybe just going to say, I don't like anybody, I'm just not voting.
I hear that with a lot of the younger kids, especially, where they say, I don't even want to vote.
Kamala Harris, okay? Is Kamala going to make you a little more likely or less likely to vote Democrat?
Hold on, wait, first, Ray, hold on, Ray. Is Kamala black, yes or no?
I'm going to let her speak on that. But to me, no.
Oh, is Kamala black, yes or no?
I share that same view.
Wow, is Kamala black, yes or no?
I heard she was. I heard she's half black and half Asian.
It feels like she black when she want to be. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to be honest.
I feel that same because
Wow.
Yeah, she uses the black card when she have to.
Wow, it's huge. I'm just saying, I've heard this is huge, man.
Okay, so that's interesting. My follow-up question is, does it matter?
At this point, no.
What if you were asked to go serve? Raise your hands now. You all had your hands raised. I want to see if something changes here. Hands up, because you all said you would serve your country if necessary, right? Okay. Keep your hand up if you would serve if it meant a war in Israel. Yours is down now. Keep your hand up if it would be serving in Ukraine. How about in Taiwan against China?
Because right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't want to serve under Biden. Because, first of all, I don't think he's cognitive enough to serve. I'm going to say it right out. I watched his speeches. I watched him, and I saw what was happening. We're being played, and both sides are being played. Republican voters are being played, so are the Democrats being played.
Yeah. At the end of the day is who's got the most money? Who's got the most power? We know who's going to win. So it's all a favoritism game. It's a game. And we're just playing it. We're just playing in the game.
So you said your vote doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. Okay. At the end of the day, the vote doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's favoritism.
Because you think both sides are too similar? That's why it doesn't matter? Or you think the system is broken?
The system's broken.
Okay, how do you fix it?
He said the system's broken as well.
The system is broken.
The system is broken. I agree with him.
Honestly, my biggest thing is there's got to be more than two parties. Right. Two candidates out of 350 million people, that's just wrong.
And maybe this is an unfortunate tendency of some of the polarization, is that people are tending to segment themselves into the kinds of conversations that the rabbi talked about. So maybe at the lunch, the kiddush lunch after a service, you might find people who are supporting a particular candidate sitting together at one table and other people sitting at another table.
Do you think in any other cycle in the last 20 years besides this one, Josh Shapiro would have had a better chance of being chosen than he did this time because of what is happening in Israel? Just a yes or no over here.
No, I don't think it would have made any difference.
No difference?
No.
I think it does make a difference.
Yes.
I say no because it's Joe Lieberman example.
Do you have friends that have gone through something? Any friends or colleagues that have gone through?
Well, my daughter lives in White Plains and happened to have been in Israel on October 7th, where we were supposed to meet her on October 13th. She couldn't get home. She is a changed person from since then. She is so strident, pro-Israeli, that I can't have a normal conversation about maybe even a two-state solution, or she's now over the edge that they are intent on destroying us.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable when you hear somebody that you're dealing with in a professional or personal way is a Republican?
It doesn't bother me, but it perplexes me. I have always believed and continue to believe that the Republican Party is inimical to LGBT rights. And so I don't understand why somebody would be part of an organization that has a history of discrimination and has opposed my community. It's just perplexing.
I'm not saying Donald Trump is perfect. That's not what I'm saying. Don't even do that. But they're taking things and they're saying, in 2016 I was told I was going to be in a concentration camp. Well, here I am in 2025 almost, and there's still no concentration camp. What rights did he actually take from us? I've been invited to his home down there at Mar-a-Lago twice. I've been there twice. The man appointed the first gay cabinet member in American history, in Rick Grenell.
We're not, like black men don't want to vote for her because she's a woman now? Or is that the reason? Like, the other day he said something to the fact of, why would you vote for an old crazy man that, you know, can't function, da-da-da. Meanwhile, you supported Biden for 3.5 years. I don't even want to listen to you at this point.
Once again, I want to thank everybody involved in those off-the-air sessions, especially Evan Mack, my partner on that endeavor. Hey, we're coming right back. My favorite time of the week, political insiders, some predictions heading into Election Day, and what they just heard from the Secretary of the Commonwealth as well. Stick around. All right, folks, my favorite time of the week, my favorite time of the year. We are just a couple days away from Election Day. Democratic strategist Tony Lepore is here with us to round things up for this cycle. It is Republican strategist Charlie Giroux. We heard from the Secretary of the Commonwealth. Any takeaways there? What caught your attention?
No, I mean, I'm hopeful, as I'm sure Tony is, that this will be a more flawless process than it has been in recent past. Several of the counties have had more than their sets of challenges. And as you know, ultimately, this boils down to the counties.
It does. They run them.
They run them.
Yep. How about yourself?
I have faith. I really do. I have faith in our elections, and I have faith in the 75 or 80,000 volunteers who run this process for the counties.
Yeah, we thank all of them for their time as well. Once again, I'll say it one more time. If you don't like the system, you think something's wonky in it, get involved. See firsthand what's going on. Maybe help out too. All right, so it's this last week. We know that the last couple of days, the candidates will be in our area again. You're talking to Kamala Harris. I know she got her on speed dial. What do you tell her? Hey, this is what you need to do the last 48 hours. Like, what's the strategy there?
Honestly, I think what she's doing is the right thing. She's crisscrossing Pennsylvania. She's making sure that everyone knows what she stands for, but in equal amounts what Donald Trump
so 50-50.
stands for.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. What's the advice for the Trump campaign?
Run through the tape. They're ahead. They need to stay ahead. They need to make sure that every voter gets out to vote. So vote, 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 because if the Trump supporters vote, they're going to win. And he doesn't have to ask people to figure out what Kamala Harris is saying. Nobody has figured it out yet. And so if she can somehow try to do that in the last 48 hours of the campaign, good luck to her.
I want to get some scheduling notes in for the viewers. We invited on the show this week the Moms of Liberty, a representative from them. Something came up. They said they had to cancel at the last moment. That's unfortunate. We'll try again in the future. Let's go to the congressional 10th district. We told you, the voters out there, we would have Democratic candidate Janelle Stelson on the show. We offered interviews to 10 candidates this cycle. 9 were able to make it. Her campaign canceled their visit the day before it was scheduled, not able to reschedule the many times that we offered. We did catch up to her yesterday at an event. Our colleague Elise Person able to ask one question in particular, why she didn't run in the district where she currently resides in Lancaster County.
I am running in the district that I've lived in for the past since 1986.
Right, but that being said, I mean, you still don't technically right now live in the 10th congressional district. Why choose to run against Scott Perry?
Because he's a threat to democracy.
All right, that brings me to this. I want to go over with you guys, what is the worst case scenario if your side doesn't win? So she's saying that he's a threat to democracy. A lot of people say that about Donald Trump. If that happens and he wins, what are you most concerned about?
Well, I think, as I've mentioned in the past, I am a girl dad, and the rights of my daughters for their own health. And just the other day, Donald Trump says he's going to put Kennedy in charge of women's health. I think that is a disaster. I think it's beyond a disaster, and I think it will affect each and every woman in Pennsylvania and in America.
So if Kamala Harris wins, what are you most concerned about for the country?
God forbid. What I'm most concerned about, Joel D., is that she will do exactly what she said, which is nothing different than Joe Biden, which means much more inflation, an open border with illegals streaming across in record numbers. It will mean a weaponization of the Justice Department, and it will mean a total collapse of our economy, our borders, and our national security.
It's just something to consider.
Total collapse?
Well,
total
total collapse.
Economy?
Total
collapse.
I mean, they've got us pretty well on the way there. I mean, the Biden-Harris economy was a disaster, and everybody knows it.
It makes you wonder how much is hyperbole, because you say total collapse of the economy, they say total collapse of democracy. So I hope neither one is correct there, but we know it will be drastically different with wins and losses there. Let's get into this. New comment from former President Donald Trump raising some eyebrows. Was this hyperbole? Was this more than this? It is getting attention. Liz Cheney on foreign policy is saying, well, she's a radical war hawk, according to Trump. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, see how she feels about that when they're trained on her face. Once again, is this hyperbole? Is this the wrong things to say this late in the game? What did you say?
Shouldn't have been said. You know,
Okay.
he could have just called her garbage and been done with it.
Okay.
But, you know, I mean, let's be clear. This is a family that my friends on the Democrat side were calling war criminals not very long ago. And now they're great because they don't like Donald Trump.
Yeah. Words.
But nobody, I mean, whether you like them or not, nobody is on our side is saying kill, take a gun, and shoot Donald Trump in the face.
Oh,
it's too
wait
far.
a minute. Who said they
It's
wanted
too
Donald
far.
Trump in
Wait a
their
minute.
crosshairs?
It's too
Who
far.
was it that said
The
they wanted
Cheney
Donald Trump
thing
in their
is too far.
crosshairs?
It's just too
Are
far.
you kidding me?
Taking her and putting there is it's too far.
Well, and once again, was that just saying you don't understand how things work when you're a war hawk? You're going to put people in danger. What if you were in danger? Is it an example? Was it exact? The problem is the words are used the way they're used, and sometimes realizing how they're going to be used is part of being a
I think he wants
politician.
to do it, though. That's what's scary.
And some people think that, and they're going to go with that. What I'm going to go with is a final prediction, okay? We're going to leave some time at the end here. We're going to go to our magic board. We're going to fill in the blanks. And if you're bored and you don't want to deal with it Tuesday, we're going to tell you what's going to happen anyway, at least according to these guys. Stick around. We're right back with predictions on Face the State. All right, we are having fun with the map. According to Tony Laporte, it will be 302 to 236. How do you get there?
So quickly, of course, Pennsylvania. We're going to go Georgia. We're going to go Arizona, Nevada.
You're getting all the blue wall.
Minnesota. Yeah.
You're taking the whole blue wall back.
Illinois.
Okay.
Michigan, Wisconsin.
All right, what are we changing, my friend?
First of all, that Keystone State, I'm
Okay.
not supposed to touch it.
I got it. Keep naming
Georgia.
All right, we're
Arizona, Michigan.
I'm taking Michigan.
Michigan.
And would this be enough? Yes, easily 297.
I mean, it's wrong. I mean, you can do it, but it's wrong.
All right, is there a percent? The popular vote is nothing. It means absolutely nothing. But what do you think it's going to end up being?
It's going to be very close, but the Electoral College map is not. And as you know, I have my actual prediction hermetically sealed in an envelope.
Okay. Popular vote real quick.
I think we're going to be percentage and a half.
Okay. That would be very interesting. Hey, folks, thanks for being here through our entire election cycle. We appreciate you. We will have big coverage going on Tuesday night. An extra digital piece. You're going to be here for a long time throughout the night, whether he opens up the sealed envelope or not. Tony, thanks for stepping in this week. Good to see you. Everybody vote and be friendly with each other afterwards. We're going to have some very upset people, but they're still our American friends. Yes.